Hello and welcome everyone. Today I plan to talk a bit about my impressions on using Chiori. I'm not doing a guide, but this is more just my thoughts about her since I've been using her for a week or so now. As such, I'll just give a disclaimer now that everything I say in this video is mostly opinion, and if yours differs, feel free to leave a comment below, and you're entitled to your opinion too. I did have to wish for her because I do love her design, and it was an opportunity to bench Albedo finally. And I'm tired of his flyer getting deleted every 2 seconds in Abyss. I know she's gotten mixed reviews from many others already, and mine will be sort of biased for having her C1, and that is what I got on her right now. So I'm just going to go over her toolkit to start with. She does have a normal attack that hits pretty fast, actually. The main thing of her kit is going to be her skill, so if she holds it or taps it, she can aim it, she can tap it and put it down in place. And she'll also geo-infuse if you don't tap it a second time, whether you start attacking right away or let it time out, and then you'll be able to have geo attacks on her normal attacks. That's only really useful if you ever C6. If you do hit her E a second time, though, it'll switch characters, and you'll get a buff that will allow you to do up to 2 additional support hits that hit harder than her puppets will hit. Her burst feels rather lackluster. It's just a hit of damage, and it's not that high of damage either. And it only starts feeling really useful once you hit C2 on her. So this is her thing about the Geo Infusion and all the other stuff I mentioned earlier. She'll just get like another 20% Geo damage bonus. And then, of course, open world movement speed. Okay, now for constellations. Her first constellation does 2 things. So 1, it makes it so you can have 2 puppets even though you don't have a Geo construct down. You just need a Geo party member. And 2 is it actually increases the range of her dolls. So think of Yamiko C2 and how it increases the range of her totems. It's similar to that with Chiori's puppets, and it makes it so you're less likely to have to worry about positioning of the puppets. C2 is just going to be more puppets after she uses her burst, so this gives her burst value to use. Ups her skill. This would just be more puppets that go out, and then this, of course, gives value to her Geo Infusion, which allows her to do a lot more damage with her normal attacks and become the on-field damage carry. So, on to how I have mine built. So I got a good chunk of defense and attack. A decent crit ratio so far. I'd love to get that crit damage over 200% eventually, just to make it look better. I do have the energy for her C2, but I don't have her C2 yet. I just gave her the Battle Pass weapon so far, just because it's a good crit stat, and it's also gives extra damage to her burst and skill. Now, you can use either Golden Troop or Husk. I went with Golden Troop because I'm already farming that domain a lot anyway, so it's just more res and efficient. Of course, C1. And I've just been horribly short on Narwhal drops. Now, the first thing I wanted to know about her is her particle generation, as if she is going to be a viable battery for Noelle or not. It seems that every time her doll attacks, she'll generate between 1 to 2 particles, but only from her first doll. The second doll you get from having a Geo construct out or having her C1 does not generate energy particles, so it doesn't add to how fast she generates energy. So whether you have her C1 or C0, and if you only have the 1 doll out, you're still getting your full energy with that. So that's not too bad. I found that she makes between 6 to 7 energy particles per cast of her dolls, which does like 5 hits in total. And in this clip here that you're seeing, I got 7 particles from that one rotation. Now, I've used her quite a bit so far, so I've used her in doing my random daily commissions, I've done domains solo and in random co-op. And first of all, in open world trash, you don't really need to be too worried about your teams. Like, it's open world. You can get through it with a friendship team, which can have like 3 of your characters not even built. So That's just fine. Now, she does help with open world movement a bit, because she gives that additional movement speed a bit, and her E is situationally can help out with just getting places as well. Now, as for domain solo, it is kind of boring because it just ends up being an easy smash like usual for me. So you'll see is like when I was just farming Mika's talent books here in this clip. In co-op, though, this is where things go all over the place. When in co-op, most people play whatever character they got their heart set on, and this can have a drastic effect on Chiori's power. Take this first run here where no one decided to bring a second Geo character. I was only able to get one doll out and the damage was pitiful, but I still needed to use her so I can get my double friendship bonus. Other times people do bring a second Geo, and it is awesome. Not only do I get both my dolls, but I also get the Geo Resonance, which increases my damage even more, and I also get the 20% Geo Resist Shred, too, from Resonance. As you can see here, just how much more of a damage she's doing in this run. Night and day difference. The other part is due to the fact that she gets a lot of defense, so if no one brings a healer, and when I do take hits, they do much less damage, so it just feels a lot more tanky anyways with her, so it's not as much of a worry. Of course, this is just domains, so it's not that high bar either. Of course, I don't want to pester other party members to bring something like a specific comp to make the most out of my character. But if they do bring a second Jill, I'll sometimes thank them for doing so, which is more of a positive way to encourage it. Now on to the meat and potatoes of where we actually need to consider character power. Spiral Abyss. Starting on 411, when I first tried it, I decided to use Noelle and Chiori on the first half only. I didn't say it at the time of the video, but I was also testing how much energy Chiori gives back to Noelle. When there was lots of trash and I got more particles, it was more than enough to keep Noelle's burst up. However, when I was facing the two Hydro enemies on Chamber 3, Noelle was choking for energy, as Chiori was only able to give like a little over half of what Noelle needed. Now, for the most part, this is fine, as I'll have a second battery with her, which will usually be Goro. Now, I have tried Chiori in a great deal many teams, and I have recorded a few of them here. I did the full Noelle team, and it was better than I expected. Eugen would have made Noelle's hits bigger, but at the same time, Chiori is doing more damage contribution than what Eugen's buff would have added as well. And Chiori generates more energy than Eugen, which is a big bonus. I did try teams where her C1 did not matter as much, such as using Zhongli as my second Geo, and then picking like 2 DPS that work well together. And then they'll get the buff of the Geo Resonance. It did feel mid on Yoimiya Vape, with Yoimiya, Yelan, Chiori, and Zhongli, since the Geo hits were kind of stealing some of the Vapes. Although with Ye and Nahida, it was awesome. Geo could not take away the Quicken Aura, and Ye Miko was able to dish out some serious damage going across. Now, Wet Rock was another one that worked okay, which was Yelan and Jingshou with those two. But when I say okay, it was enough for me to get my max star clear, but it didn't feel like my strongest team. I also tried out Navia, and it did great. I'm still sometimes missing, like when I try to aim with Navia's E to hit the enemy, and I could be a point-blank rage, and they'll be like right in the center of the screen, and just miss entirely. I'm not sure why that is sometimes, but that was happening before I even got Chiori, so that wouldn't be her fault. To me, not having her second puppet, though, does feel really bad. I feel like I'm missing like half her kit or half her potential when I'm missing that. Like, I know you can run her where she only has one puppet, but I like having two, especially since I have her C1. I just feel like I have to have that. And her burst does feel like an afterthought. So, half the time I don't use it, or if I just remember to use it, I use it for the sake of using it. It doesn't feel like it's doing enough. I wish they added a bit more to it, where maybe she'll give like a geo damage bonus to the party for so many seconds after using it or something. That would have been really nice. Now, I think that's also partly because I don't have her C2, because that would make it so she'll get like a third doll that'll pop up periodically and do more hits, and that will give actual definition of use for her burst. Or make her burst do more damage, but that just seems like a boring way to do it. The other part is, do I think she's for everyone? No, I don't. It really depends on your account. Like, if you're using Albedo in some places, but you would rather have a waifu version, she would work great. She, with her second doll, does more than what Albedo can do for damage contribution, which is nice. But this is a character you can skip if you want, or saving for someone more important later on. Or if you really do want to main those Geo teams that can take advantage of her, then yeah, you may want to pull for her then. For me, however, I don't regret wishing for her. She is a lovable character, perfectly fine as far as the damage contribution that she does, and she is filling a role on my account where I am able to make good use of her. So I don't think it was a waste, especially since she's a cute character. That reason alone is enough for me to pull. So, if you pulled for her, feel free to comment below. Tell me what you think about her yourself. Have you had good experiences with her? Have you been dealing with other issues with it? Is there things you'd like to have seen change about her? Just feel free to comment. And have yourself a great day, and good luck on your wishes.